putting the spotlight on local businesses in the capital city. This is 402 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And you're listening to the 402 Business Insider, sponsored by Complete Family Dermatology and the Barry Law Group. I'm Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing, and with me, as always, Gary Tharnish from Home Design Real Estate. How's it going today?
It's going great.
Yeah?
How are you? Did all my exercises for my back.
Oh. Is this
so
a New Year's
fun.
thing, or you're just
No,
trying to recover
it's
from
me
the...
trying to walk.
Trying to walk. Yeah. I found that comes in handy once
I
in a
don't
while.
have my cane anymore, so it's great. But it's a great start. I actually like it. I always feel a lot better afterwards. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, I'm going to try
Fantastic.
to age well.
Yeah.
Season.
Well,
I'm going to try to season well.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Well, today's going to be a fun one. We have, did you happen to look at that article that I sent you that for our
did.
business lesson in the news?
I did.
It seems like no matter what, the media pushes doom and gloom.
Oh,
And that's their job. That's what they
sells.
do. I'm not sweating them for that. Well, I am kind of sweating them for that. But we spent, like, I remember in October, November, they started saying, oh, it's going to be bad. You know, Christmas sales is going to be slow and you got to be careful because people aren't going to spend as much. And then Christmas is over and it's up 4%. It's an all-time record high in spending. And I'll tell you, when I read this, I'm like, this is an absolutely perfect business lesson in the news, because we get so caught up paying attention to the news and we're letting that affect our business and how we manage upcoming sales and promotions and so forth. I had two clients that cut back on marketing because they thought it was going to be slow. And they said, well, two things. If it is slow, cutting back your marketing is the last thing you want to do. You want to do the opposite, because if there's less people buying, you need to really gain some of that market share by, putting some top of mind awareness out there and go from getting your fair share to getting your unfair share. And they said, no, we think it's going to be slow. And guess what? It was slow because they cut their marketing out. It's like,
it could be a combination of 100 things. So back to the propaganda of doom and gloom. It's exactly why I don't listen to news anymore for 5 years.
Too.
And I'm happier than ever. Which makes a huge difference. I also think, unfortunately, business owners buy into the doom and gloom more than the general public, obviously, because the general public spent 4% more this year.
Exactly.
So that's really the big challenge. Business mindset in business is so important. The other day I was like, oh man, dude, I don't have a closing in January. I need to, and I'm like, oh, I don't have, what's going to happen? I mean, my mind started going, and I'm like, stop it, and so I'm like, I'm just, what you think expands. So I'm sending out into the universe, I'm going to get something come up. 30 minutes later, I get a telephone call. I'm now working on a over $2 million deal in Colorado that I'll get a referral on. So it's like, but I could have had the whole day of going, it's going to be a terrible day. It's going to be rotten. And this isn't happening. It's so easy. And as a business owner, when you make decisions that way, that's a real problem.
Yeah. You start letting them shape your decisions. And it's funny because when I read through this and I was kind of putting our show prep together, it reminded me, like, this was 35 years ago. I used to work for this guy. His name was Jay Byerly. This was out in Colorado. And oddly enough, he lives just outside of Lincoln. So I highly doubt he's listening, but Jay, if you're listening, I love you. But he would tell us this story about this guy. It was kind of a parable, right? It was a guy who owned a hot dog stand and he used to sell 500 hot dogs a week. And, he'd go out into his corner, do his thing, and sales were good. And his son comes home from college and he goes, Dad, don't you know a recession is coming? People aren't going to be able to afford these hot dogs. You better start cutting back because you don't want to be stuck with stale buns and all these hot dogs and inventory that you have to throw away. Well, he's a college-educated kid. He's pretty smart. Dad believes him. So instead of ordering 500 hot dogs, he buys 400 hot dogs, sells them. And he goes, sales are kind of slowing down, right? So then he goes to 300 hot dogs and he goes to 200 hot dogs. And before you know it, guy's out of business going, wow, my son was smart. He really saw this recession coming and he's a smart guy. And
put me right out of business.
Now I'm out of business. And it was funny because when he tells you this story, I was like 18 years old going, what the heck are you talking about? Right. Yeah. And now as you start seeing this and being a business owner, you go, I know exactly what he's talking about, because you let all these outside influences shape your decision making, and you can't do it.
Well, and it's more than even just in business, just in life in general, right? It's like when my back was messed up and I'm using a cane, I'm like, oh, this sucks. It's terrible. Then when I start changing my mind, it's like, okay, focus on it, and you get better. I think what you send out in the universe is what is brought back to you.
Yeah.
What you think expands. That's what we learned in this great class that we took, that all Chinese Eastern thought, Eastern medicine, right?
You took a class on Chinese Eastern medicine?
No, I took a class on ninja selling, is what it's called. Ninja selling.
Did you have the wardrobe? The
we did not.
No?
Okay. I looked just like this. Least ninja thing you could ever imagine. But I learned a lot. And I remember when I first heard that, I'm like, that's kind of the focus of your book, like what you think expands. But if you think about that, it's all about your mindset, right?
Yeah.
And that guy's mindset was doom and gloom. You can't sell from an empty wagon, but he ended up with an empty wagon. Of course, he's not selling hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when I went through and looked at the information that came out, and I think it was like MasterCard, there's always reports coming out and what people are buying. And they did say that people were looking for better deals, a little bit trying to stretch their money. And I get that.
Sure.
And you should be able to see that in your business, right? Yeah. I mean, when you own the flower shop, there were probably flowers that sold better at some times than other times.
Oh, sure.
And you just pay attention to what's happening within your own business.
Oh, yeah.
And adjust there.
And you really do it when your product's perishable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It's not like widgets sitting on the shelf and they don't sell. I mark them down and they go. Yep. It's like, hey, I got some dead flowers for you. You want to send Casey some dead flowers? That's right.
What you should have done is sold them to the gas station, because those are terrible bouquets.
You know what I did do, and it did kind of work, is we would sell, like, for 40th and 50th birthdays. We would promote these dead flower bouquets. We'd paint the flowers black. Genius.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, the flowers are expiring. We'd paint them black and send them out. And we sold a lot of them. It was hilarious. Lemons, yeah, we did. I love that. I get it. I do totally believe in the deal thing. I spent more than last year, but really looked for deals and good deals. I would be interested in seeing the breakdown of buying from foreign entities versus locally and American owned. Mm-hmm. I've noticed lately that with this whole tariff thing, somebody will come out with a product. What I'm thinking of is this chest exercise thing. I thought this piece of equipment.
Okay.
And on the ends of it, there's two pieces you grab to turn in. I'm saying this because I have one, which obviously those of you in here see I haven't used yet. Yes. But it looks really nice, and it is on my wall. I'm leaning against the wall. But anyway, it was patented. They patented it, right? And then there was a takeoff right away, made over in China, but the two pieces on the end were straight. People didn't really notice it. So then the original people are going, hey, that's really bad for your wrist, blah, blah. But I think you're seeing that in all kinds of products.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Timu, Salic, all these different. And I'd be interested in see what those figures are.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Although Timu, you came from Timu when you open the box and it's busted, right? Isn't that a sign of Timu? But it is true. And I this year, especially because everybody's screaming about the tariffs, they go, oh, tariffs are going to send prices through the roof. I'm not really seeing it. I'm seeing prices slowly increase, but I've been seeing prices slowly increase for 50 years now.
Yeah. And, the people someone was complaining to me the other day about, gosh, I went to McDonald's and it was this much, and then just kind of went on this little tirade about, and I'm like, curious, did you vote for the increased minimum wage? I go, what do you think would happen? Of course, prices are going to go up.
Yes.
It's going to happen. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens this year. It's kind of off topic, but this could be a business news down the road. We could maybe do some research. We would be you, and see if,
I'm on it,
and see if, you're seeing other people's wages increase accordingly, because everybody's got a $1.50 raise January 1st if you're on minimum wage. So did the people making $20 go to $21.50, $25 to $26.50?
Yeah, they didn't in my business.
That'll be interesting to see what happens too.
Yes, it will. Well, we got a good show coming up for you. We're going to be talking to Brady Fink, who owns Small Engine Specialists, and before we go, I have so many papers. The first break is always the tough one because I'm sorting papers over here like crazy. So that is our business lesson in the news. Wanted to give a quick shout out to the Lincoln Airport. So check this out. My mom lives in Denver, right? And she's coming out here at the end of January to watch my grandkids. And so I got on. I'm like, okay, I got to book a flight. So I went on to, of course, I go look at Southwest Airlines,
Sure.
right? And then I go to Skyscanner. I go to Google because they do the whole Google, cheap airfare thing. And that at the end of this month, for her to fly from Denver to Omaha, $206 on Southwest, $207 on United, but round trip, same days from Denver to Lincoln, $189.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, it's like, look, get on and look, check out the airfares. And I didn't cherry pick, right? So
Sure.
if you travel within 3 days, either side, 4 days, either side of what I booked, Lincoln was actually cheaper than flying to Omaha.
And I've seen data where even if the ticket flying out of Lincoln is $100 to $125 more for your ticket, you're still better off considering mileage, gas, time, parking in Omaha, which is more expensive than parking here because I'm going to drop you off here and
right.
you need to Uber or whatever. So yeah, buy LNK.
Absolutely. And if it's $100, $150, it's a wash.
Oh yeah,
easy. And it was great because it was cheaper, number one, and two, saves me the drive, and it's easier for mom to get off the plane, right out the door, pick her up, away you go.
Yeah.
So absolutely love it. Lincoln Airport, we appreciate them. Check it out, lincolnairport.com. Save time, save money.
There you go. That's
there we go.
thing.
Well, you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Travis Filing. That's Gary Tharnish. We will be back talking with Brady Fink from Small Engine Specialists right after this break. Stick around.
We're listening to the 402 Business Insider. This segment is sponsored by Starter Heyman Jewelers and Red Rhino Roofing. Today, our guest is Brady Fink. I just had the pleasure of meeting him shortly. Don't really know too much about you yet, but he is with Small Engine Specialists. Welcome, Brady.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Brady, first off, where are you located?
We're at 5101 North 57th Street.
So north of 56th and Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Right?
See,
when you head to the interstate?
I used to take stuff to you guys when was it an old school or a church?
There was an old church in Havelock.
Yes. Yeah. It was right across from Russ's.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
And it was kind of a pain in the butt because sometimes you had to haul your stuff up the stairs. So yeah, that's nice that that's gone away now.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
When do you guys built that place out there? Didn't you have the new location?
No, it was there. I want to say it was 2007. My dad got into that building.
That sounds about
we've been there ever since.
Very good.
So how long have you owned it?
Just this year.
This year.
Yeah, 2025 was
family
my first
business
year.
or
Yep.
It is.
My dad started it in 1990.
In 1990.
Yep.
Great. Cool. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one brother.
He didn't want the business?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He probably wouldn't have been good at it. I don't know. Well, I haven't met him, but that's funny.
It's funny because we've talked about like our business. What are we going to do with our business when we sell it? And my kids aren't into marketing.
Yeah.
And if you're not into it, it would be such a burden to hand it off to them, and it would ruin the business, it would ruin the employees, it would ruin everything.
Yeah.
So if you're not into it, don't do it.
Yeah.
So Brady, I'm going to assume you worked there. Like, did you start working there in high school or when you were 5?
No, I played Nintendo when I was 5 there. No, so I'd worked there a little bit in middle school doing like miscellaneous stuff for a little cash under the table, and then in high school I worked there when I didn't have other jobs kind of outside of my school schedule. And then once I got out of high school, I went to college for a little bit, didn't like that, came back, started working there a little bit, and then ultimately went down kind of a music path. So I went to school in Arizona and did music.
Yes, another musician. I did too. I was a music major. Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, so I did more of the audio engineering side and then did music production. And then came back to Nebraska and then started working there and doing kind of the music on the side. And then when my uncle retired, I kind of stepped up into a more significant role.
So your uncle worked for your father.
Mm-hmm.
They worked together. Okay.
Yep.
When was that? When you kind of started a full-time role? 5 years ago, 10 years ago? I mean, you look like you're 25.
Well, right. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, you can't be that old.
I just turned 30 a couple days ago.
Okay. I'm close.
But 25 is good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I was working there just kind of as like a sales parts counter sales guy.
Sure.
For a couple years. And then I want to say he retired in September of 2023, around there.
Okay.
Or maybe 22. gosh, now I'm blinking. But
they all blur
COVID.
together.
We all get
wait till you're our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then once he retired, shortly before he retired, he started teaching me like some of the operation side of things and
smart
bookkeeping and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you like it?
No, I didn't love bookkeeping. No.
Me either.
Me
See,
either,
musicians
man.
don't, because we're creative. I can make 4 + 4 = 4.5. Unfortunately, financially, for me, it's usually come out 3.5, and I'm short all the time. So anyway,
yeah.
If the IRS ever comes knocking to look at, if I were handling the numbers, I'd be in trouble.
I love it.
It is not my thing either.
And what Brady meant earlier by cash under the table was that he moved the table once and there was like 50 cents.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what he meant. Okay. So you take over the business this year in 2025.
Yeah. So that'd be when I officially bought it and then was running it as the owner.
Very nice.
So then before then, we kind of had a plan. I had to decide, one, is this something I wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
Which I decided, well, it'd be kind of silly not to.
Sure.
That's how I got there first.
Yeah.
And then kind of once I dove in and then it was more exciting. And then we had kind of a 1.5 to 2 years of kind of planning, getting to the point of where, okay, now we need to, let's go get the valuation done and go from there and then officially buy it. That way my dad could exit.
Yeah, and the valuation is so important when you're buying a legacy business, whether it's from family or just a legacy business, period, because you're going to look at the numbers of the books and the sales that they've had. But if your father didn't have a loan payment, right? Now you're going to have a loan payment. You got to add that in, all those types of things. Now, I'm assuming you didn't just have the cash laying. I don't know how much cash was under that table, but I'm assuming you probably had to take out a loan or something. I don't know. Did you find, how much cash did you find under that table? Where is this table? Let's start there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where's this table at? But anyways, so you did the valuation, decided you wanted to buy it. So how are you liking it?
I love it.
Good.
It's been awesome. So the year before I bought it, we did some kind of restructuring and changed the way we managed our inventory and kind of got I hired on an accountant that had quite a bit of experience, and she was really helpful in getting me to like get all the numbers organized in a way that, well, she's very skilled at it. I wasn't.
Yeah.
But in a way that I can understand it, and then just to kind of put myself in a position to make good decisions moving forward.
Sure.
So that was kind of a little bit painful just because from a cash standpoint, like we had to deploy a lot of capital to get things where we wanted it to go.
Right.
But then we had a good foundation, and then really it was just like, okay, let's get some rain and have a good year and see like if we were right about, the changes that we did make.
Sure.
Yeah. We were right.
Nice.
Yeah. We got good rain this year.
Good job. We
So
did.
good. Yeah.
We got a lot of rain, which is really good. I never thought about that. It would be great because your small engines would.
Yeah.
It's a difficult
break
thing.
down.
I mean, it really is a difficult thing because even if you're doing a lot of things right, if it's dry, it's dry.
Yeah.
Grass isn't growing and you're not, there's not as much people coming in the door.
So now your dad is Dan.
Yeah.
Is Dan still part of the business, or
Yes.
is he headed off into the sunset?
Nope, he's still part of the business. So really, once I kind of stepped into operations in that role, I mean, he'd already kind of been backing off a little bit, but he still does our pickup and delivery and puts equipment together and just kind of oversees a lot of things. And
nice.
It's nice having him there, honestly, because
that's good. That doesn't always work, so that's really good. I have friends that bought a legacy business and. Dad was going to stick around, and it just didn't really work because they were wanting to make changes. This is a business that's been around for a long time and really didn't have a lot of change. I mean, there were some things where it was like, wow, that's like 70s,
Yeah.
And that was really hard for the dad. And it kind of ended up where they just had to say, Dad, we love you, but you just need to go.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that.
I would say my relationship with my dad is about as good as it can get. So that made it really easy. And I have tremendous respect for what he built, and
that's awesome.
That was kind of the hard part is like I had to, not get super obsessed with any new ideas and just kind of be patient and actually learn because he obviously knows quite a bit, right?
Well, and change is good, but change just for the sake of change is not. Again, you need to take a step back and think. And he would be a great asset and mentor to just
for sure
run ideas off of, that way.
So are there a lot of changes that if you have an idea, you go, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about this, or do you just do it?
Initially, I got really excited about changing a lot of stuff. And I, of course, like at the time I wasn't the owner, so he would, he had the call to make. And so I tried to bring him things that I thought would be good. And then most of the time I just didn't end up doing it.
Okay.
So it just
so file that away until Dad's gone, and then we're gonna do it.
Yeah, no, and it's a good thing that I didn't, because a lot of those things I wouldn't do now that I just from learning more.
Yeah, so suddenly, I mean, I know when I bought my business, I was 24, and suddenly I had a 50-year-old woman in my office crying about her divorce that was coming up, and I don't know how much I can wear. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't sign up for this. Like,
Right.
So how many employees do you have?
We have 10 right now.
Okay, so you've already worked with them. So you know them, which is a real positive. That leadership change, were there any lessons you learned after you bought the business, or had Dad kind of prepped you a little bit to go? And you probably saw more of the operations when he pulled you in the office.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I learned a ton when I wasn't the owner. And I tried to learn a lot this year too, but it was more game time.
Sure.
So,
well, Travis is going to take us to a break.
The music's playing, so they're going to rush us off to a break. But want to do a quick thanks to Mendoza Family Insurance. They're one of those insurance agencies that actually picks up the phone when you call them. They know you by name. They do home, auto, business. They help you understand what you're buying, and they're not just trying to sell you a policy. So learn more, MendozaFamilyInsurance.com. That's MENDOZA FamilyInsurance.com. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Travis Filing with Gary Tharnish, talking with Brady Fink from Small Engine Specialists, and we're going to have more right after this break. We're back on the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Brady Fink from Small Engine Specialists. This segment sponsored by The Cabin, Virtual Indoor Golf, and Western National Bank, who is online at mywnb.com. It's time for 5 takeaways. This is where we take 5 things, 5 pieces of information that we can just bundle up, give to our listeners that they can apply to their business Monday morning, especially New Year. It's a new year. It's time to try new things. It's time to do something different. So let's jump into it. What's that first piece of information that you want to share with people that you've learned? Because business ownership, although you've only owned for about a year, you've learned a lot. I mean, you've learned, things that I don't know. I've never really bought a business. So what's that first piece of information you want to share with people?
I would say that being consistent in how you show up as a leader and owner makes a big difference in a small business.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get a lot of people organized and kind of rowing in the same direction. And also for as many things that we feel like are out of our control in our business, like, oh, we can't really control, maybe hire someone and they're calling in sick. I mean, we've had that issue with like trying to get people trained on and everything. A lot of it does kind of just fall back on your shoulders. Like, are you showing people how to do something, or do you just expect them to do it?
Yeah.
Well?
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest lesson is leaning a lot more into that action and kind of just like getting more involved.
And leading by example is so crucial. Because employees they look to you. If you're harping on them to be there at 8:00 and you're never there at 8:00,
right?
Getting them there at 8:00 ain't going to be that easy.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah. So we started doing a thing. This was years ago. We started having a meeting, just a quick 8-minute meeting at 8:00, just to get everybody there at 8:00.
Yeah, and if you missed it, you sunk.
Yeah. Well, and Shannon moved it to the front of the building. So right at the main door, and she would lock the front door. She would make people stand outside while we finished our 8-minute meeting. So it was like the bubble of shame.
Wow.
It didn't work out too well, but that's what we tried that for a while. So
that's funny. Oh my gosh. I was getting calls towards the latter part before I sold my shop. Like, hey, I know it's 9:15 and I was supposed to be there at 8, but honestly, I just don't feel like working today. I'm like, yeah, well, neither do I. But I was here at 7:45, so I'll see you soon. Well, really, I just don't. Yeah, come work.
Yeah.
And then you're fired.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, right.
But leading by example is huge. What's a second thing maybe that's a takeaway? Is there anything as a second takeaway or third, whenever down this road, that surprised you as a legacy business? I know it was for me. Like, I thought, I'm buying an existing business. I'm just going to unlock the door, put the open sign out, and it'll be business as usual.
Yeah, I would say that I was more nervous about legacy customers and
retaining the client list.
Yeah, okay. And keeping them happy. Because ultimately, when you do make changes in a business and you like you mentioned earlier, like running a business it's been around for a long time, and at some point you have to update some things, and you do want to make changes and go a different direction, not necessarily at the expense of the customer, but you ultimately think you're going to do a better job for them.
Yeah.
And so there's customers that my dad has had, for a long time, and I guess my expectation was that more of them would be dissatisfied. I was actually pleasantly surprised that there wasn't a lot of uh, I'm struggling
Not
to
like
find the word.
turnover or
Yeah. I mean, the people the people they interact with are the same. There's really nothing changes for them, and I was just more nervous about that, I guess, than I needed to be.
You are in a bubble, right? When a legacy business, that was huge for me because I bought 2 legacy businesses, and the second one I combined with the original one, neither of which had my name on them. But you're in a bubble, right? So all those people like, oh, new person, they're in the bubble. Let's see how they do. I remember that mindset too of just thinking, gosh, I hope they like what I do compared to what the previous person did. My business was very creative, so that's a little bit different.
Sure.
I'm thinking you can't get really creative when you're fixing an engine. The certain part has to go in a certain place. Right. Okay. Yeah. So there's maybe not a lot of that, but
yeah, no. And I think the other thing that helped with that was just me getting into that operations sooner, and then
alongside your dad.
Yeah, alongside, and then some people that have been coming for a long time knew that was taking place.
Yeah.
That I was going to be buying the business, and so
smart move.
We did it in a fairly transparent way to our customers.
Yeah.
Without talking about it all the time, I guess, and then that obviously helped on the employee side too.
Yeah, visual succession makes total sense, right? Yeah. Like they know you're coming, you're there, they see you, you're working. It's great.
One thing that I would see is tough in your business, because I'm actually a customer. I've bought weed whips and mowers and everything else, but and this is a thumbs up to the products that you sell. They don't break down very often, right? Yeah. And so I'm thinking the last time I bought a lawnmower, I'll bet it's been 10 years, right? And it's never broke down. And so now here's a 10-year span where we've gone from, I was talking to Steve and Dan, and now all of a sudden I haven't been through the door. I'll bet you it's been 6 years since I've walked through the door, and now things are changed. So what do you do you do anything to tell these people that there's new ownership, or do you just keep on doing what you're doing?
Yeah. So we haven't changed any of our core processes, because they were good. There wasn't really anything broken in that. It's just about being consistent in that customer experience and making sure that if someone walks in, and one of our core values is protect the reputation. So, we realize that there's people that come by every so many years because they maintenance their own equipment, they keep it running. There's people that have us maintain it for them, so we see them more often. And then commercial customers who run lawn care businesses, obviously we interact with them frequently. But yeah, that's it is a challenge because and who knows what your memory would be of 10 years ago of what your expectation would be. So just making sure we're giving a positive customer experience. So we don't know if it's the first time someone's walking in, or if we haven't seen you for 10 years, a lot of the people at the front counter might not have seen you.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
These
are different employees.
I mean, you get referrals all the time. You don't know where they come from. So real curious, since marijuana isn't legal in Nebraska.
This is taking a weird turn.
What is the whole weed whip thing that you sold? What is that? Is
You're
that
a musician.
Something like an
what it
add-on,
is.
or and we could talk about that off air. But anyway, so protecting the reputation that's been built up by your father, right?
Absolutely.
Was important. Customer retention, that ties into that. What's a third thing that's maybe something surprised you with? Was there anything that surprised you with employees, having to have employees?
Yeah. So when I first got into operations, obviously no one was my hire.
Right. Yeah, sure. And that's another thing. Exactly.
Yeah. And I went from their coworker to, in effect, their boss.
Right.
Yeah, it was tough because, my position would have never wanted to be to lead with the boss part. Right. I kind of try to treat people that work there, in a sense, not so much like friends, but like, keep things casual, and try to give respect to the people that have been working in the business and not trying to run everybody out the door. And a lot of that has to do with not making a ton of changes right away, because you need respect is consistency over time. So you need people to see and buy into kind of
right.
trusting you that, hey, you're not going to rock the boat here. You're not going to flip their world upside down. And so when I think about it from the employee perspective, I think about if I was working somewhere and then one of my coworkers got promoted, you know, you may be excited about that or whatever, but if they got promoted to like right above me, you know, it's like, okay, well, I wonder how this is going to shake out. You know, how this is going to kind of change the dynamic.
Exactly.
Coworkers are kind of friends. And when you're the boss, you almost have to have that distance between you because you also have to be the hammer when you have to be the hammer.
Sure.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
And that's a struggle?
Yeah, it is, because I don't really love being the hammer.
Yeah. Nobody does.
Right. Exactly.
Nobody does.
And so, you know, you have to pick and choose your battles on like, okay, what's the most important thing that needs to be accomplished here? And then if it goes against that, okay, we got to address that. Otherwise, you know, just keep things like, not everything is a fire.
Yeah.
Right. So don't make more fires than there needs to be.
Yeah.
But I would say that was a challenge for me is just getting to the point where I feel that I had the confidence that, hey, I had built that respect over time or that consistency to where I could say like, okay, you know, here's what we want to do. And like, you guys want to come with.
What's interesting about that, I don't know if it was last week's show or we probably mentioned it several times in the 2 years we've been doing this, but you know, before somebody's going to trust you, they have to like you, right? So you already have that with these fellow employees. I'm assuming they like you. You seem super likable.
For the most part, I would hope so.
You're not into drama, so that's really good. That's always a very likable quality. But suddenly you become their boss. It's kind of a start over a little bit. Like, okay, I like you, but now you're my boss. I still kind of like you, but the trust has to be earned again, which is everything that you talked about, where it's like, you're not going to throw them into turmoil or, you know, turn everything upside down. And, you know, that's an important thing. Also, something that might benefit you with that is that as a leader, you're going to walk alongside the people that are working for you more than micromanaging.
Absolutely.
I would think that might be, it was easier for me, I know.
Yeah.
With the people that I retained from the second legacy business I bought.
Yeah. I told everyone, I'd worked a number of jobs in my life, and there's tons of things about different managers that I had that I don't always remember what I liked about them, but I do remember what I didn't like about them.
Yep.
And so I told him kind of that the way that I want to do things is I'm going to do my best to not be any of those things that I didn't like about the other people.
Exactly.
And I think I'm fairly transparent with everyone, and I try to involve them in my thinking and get feedback on things. And so I try not to, as much as I can, I try not to silo myself. It's a small team, right? You know, we don't have 200 people with 3 layers of management. And so you do need that aspect of a tighter relationship with these people because it's smaller.
And recognition is important, right? I mean, there's been study after study after study that says, yes, all employees love a raise, but they also, to a larger percent, love recognition, where a job well done or whatever. And one way to do that is to engage them in decisions, challenges, what's going on. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Too,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Try not to leave anybody in the dark or, you know, any room for them to make an assumption too.
Yeah. Because then rumors start and it's all the back talk of, oh my gosh, did you see what he's doing?
Right.
Yeah. No more donuts.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
He sucks.
I think about a week ago, I was watching MASH because I'm old. And the one where Radar got promoted to lieutenant. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All the people he was buddies with now have to salute him. And it was really awkward,
hilarious.
weird. It's funny because in business, we kind of go through that.
Yeah.
You know, and
definitely.
Yeah, that's very difficult.
What's a fourth takeaway? Something else that you learned
something else that I'm learning now, I guess, like I kind of pointed to it a little bit, just in having more confidence that I have built that trust, that I have to remember to give people an opportunity to rise to the occasion. So, you know, when we make a change in the business and I think it's a good idea, I'm almost sure it's a good idea, but it only matters a little bit if I think it's a good idea or if I'm sure of it. Everyone else has to think the same way.
Yeah,
or
because
at
if
least
they don't, it's going to fall flat, even if it is a good idea.
Yeah, they have to buy into it.
Yeah,
definitely.
And so
that's a cool one.
Yeah, so simplifying what you're doing, I think, is a big thing, so that it's easily digestible, and then it's something that keep it measurable if you're making a change. But then also that way you're not just overloading everybody with a bunch of new information and making it super complex. And that way you're not telling everyone all day long, remember this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
You're just saying, okay, like this is the thing we need to focus on.
I remember one of the best public speakers I listened to at a business thing I attended that's giving you all this great information, how to be a leader and run a business and everything, is he said, give everybody the day off the day you come home. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, because usually you come home from a conference, business owners, and they just throw up all this stuff. Oh. We're going to do this. This is a great idea. We're going to, and everybody's like, oh my God, just stay away.
Yeah.
Take a week off afterwards. But I like that. Yeah, simplify things.
It's funny because Shannon worked at a bank a long time ago, and they did a conference, and it was Fish. Did you guys ever read the book Fish? Yes. Don't read the book Fish.
Yeah.
If you ever see that in a thrift store, leave it behind.
That's why it's there.
But they decided that they were going to try and incorporate this into a bank. How do you incorporate this into a bank? You don't.
No.
Yeah, you can't just bring everything home. But I do like the idea of giving people the day off if your business can do that.
Yeah, I know, right?
So what's the fifth thing?
Oh, a fifth thing.
It's always tough.
Yeah. So
it is. We're just like throwing this at you.
Yeah. No. So I learned something from that's kind of helped me personally in this role. From a customer of ours who owns a lawn care business, and he was telling me he drew a quadrant on a sheet, so like 4 boxes,
4 sections,
and then one of the sections was what do you like, and the top right would be what do you like and what are you good at, and then the box right below that be what do you it'd be something that you're good at but that you don't like, and then on the left side it's something you don't like and you're bad at it, and then in the bottom left was something you do like but you're bad at, or something along those lines. So it kind of, and then you just write down all the things that you do in your role or on a day-to-day basis. And the goal would be to be spending as much time as possible in that top right quadrant of things that you do like to do,
that you do well.
But you're good at it also. And then start figuring out how can you set up your business in a way where you're not being pulled away for things that you either don't like or aren't skilled at.
Well, yeah, they're not your thing. That is so wise.
It is. I tell people everybody can do every skill, but we all do it on a scale from 1 to 10. Right. Like for me, HR, dealing with employees, I'm a 2. I mean, and that's generous.
Repairing anything mechanical, I'm a -1.
But if I work really hard and put a lot of effort to it, I could probably get up to a 4 or a 5 in HR. Do you need a 4 or a 5 in HR? No, you need an 8 or
all
better.
That time.
Right.
Where you could have been doing the things that's their upper right quadrant.
Exactly. I mean, when it comes to selling, I'm an 8.
Right.
And if I work really hard, I could be a 9 or a 10.
Well, you are a 10.
Yeah. And what's going to pay off more for the business? A 9 or a 10 in the sales department, or a 4 in HR?
A 10, because you work with your wife. And if you're in sales, you're out of the building. Bingo. That's it.
That's 2 birds. That's a win right there.
2 birds. Exactly. No kidding. That is a really good point, though. I love that, because in the 70s, 80s, well, 80s and 90s in business, when I was in first business, every time we went to a conference, it was all about, you got to get better at the things you're not good at. If you're going to succeed, you got to be better at the things you're not good at. That was like this huge push.
It was big.
And I'm like, I am not good at that. Like, I hate it, and I'm not even going to try to get good at that. Then by the time we got to the 2000s, it was more sensible like this, where it's like, look, there's things that inherently we are not good at, right?
Right.
Like, you play piano by ear, I play piano by note. You could learn to play by note. I could learn to play more by ear, but it's like, is that really something I would like along the way? It's just interesting in every facet of life.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to do your thing, do what you're good at, and hire somebody to do the things that you're not good at, because your business will flourish tenfold if you do that.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Well, this has been 5 Takeaways, sponsored by the Nebraska Farmers Network. We want to thank them. They're just they're such a cool business.
Yeah.
Get out there, check them out. NFN exists to support Nebraska farmers and ranchers through education, advocacy, and connection. It's about strengthening agriculture in the communities that depend on keeping Nebraska farms Nebraska owned. Learn more, go to nebraskafarmersnetwork.com. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Brady Fink from Small Engine Specialists, and we're going to have more for you right after this break.
Thanks for sticking with us through the break. I'm Gary Thornish with Travis Filing. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. This segment is sponsored by the UPS stores, and we're talking with Brady Fink of Small Engine Specialists today. And this is our segment where it's time for an unexpected impact. Business is full of surprises, right? Some good, some not so good, some definitely not good. Brady, tell us about something unexpected that happened in your business over this first year that you owned it and how you reacted to it.
Oh, gosh. This first year. I mean, this year was fairly, it was business as usual for the most part. I can't think of anything that,
something will.
Field.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know,
I got some bad news for you. Something's gonna get you. And was there anything like, not even just in the first year, just anything big that happened while you were working with the company?
Yeah, I'm really surprised about the battery equipment, how that took off. I remember when we first started bringing it in, it was years ago, and it was, we brought it in and it would sit, and being in Nebraska as opposed to like a California or something, like, it's like we like our gas engines, right? And that's been a kind of a big surprise. This last year, I could say we sold more battery stuff than we ever had. So it is relevant to this year by like a significant margin over maybe the year before and in the last couple of years.
Interesting. So now when it comes to battery powered, do you have to keep the batteries inside? Do they go bad? Do they need to be like on a tender or?
Yeah, so they would tell you to charge them. They're lithium ion batteries. They would tell you to charge them, but not leave them plugged in like permanently.
Plugged into the wall or plugged into the machine?
Into the charger.
Okay.
Into the wall. Yeah. With power on it.
I got something to do when I get home today.
That's probably why my drill isn't working.
Yeah. But as far as the temperature, I think it's a good idea to treat it like you would anything else, like no extreme temperatures either direction. So, if you can get it in a shed or something, even if it's not super insulated, is better than just sitting, outside on the concrete.
So what do you think of these new, I'm showing a house one day. We'll walk out onto the patio, which is on the first floor, and it's a walkout. So the basement is a walkout. And I look into the neighbor's yard and I'm like, what the blank is that? And I'm looking there going, it's like a yard Roomba, basically. It's like a battery operated lawnmower that goes down the yard and it hits the fence and turns around and comes back up and does the next row. What? Like, do you sell those or have you seen those? They're crazy.
I have seen them. We don't sell them. None of the manufacturers we carry have one available for purchase, but it's coming.
Good. Well, they're not quite ready yet is the next thing I would say, because
they're horrible.
Yeah. Once the clients left, I'm like, I gotta go watch it. I was just completely enthralled by what is this? And I go back and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. So somewhere along the way, the little mower went a little too far over and left a whole like 6-inch swath of way too tall grass.
Yeah,
I was like, this is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
it was interesting, but I was like, I don't know, things are changing.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna see a lot of things obviously keep moving towards convenience.
Right.
But convenience is outpacing quality for sure.
Yeah.
So very much believe that.
I totally believe that.
Yep.
The one that I saw, a video I saw, was it looks like a weed whacker. That's for you,
Thank you,
Gary.
Sir. Okay, I got it now.
But it's like a snowblower. It's like a handheld battery operated snow blower kind of a thing.
They're called snow shovels.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah. So they're typically smaller, and you kind of hold and use them just like you would a shovel, minus the throwing action. You just push it forward.
Yeah, that it looked pretty slick. Do you guys have those?
Yeah. Okay. Toro makes one that we carry. It's a battery powered, and they actually work really well.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Yeah. Yeah. So like at our house specifically, we have a small section with the porch where like you can get a snowblower there, but then you got steps, right? And then the steps are too thin to put a snowblower on. So you're like, you'd have to be lifting your blower up. And then a snow shovel would work perfectly for that section because it's thin enough that you can get it on smaller steps and just kind of.
So it's not something you're going to do the whole driveway with.
Correct.
But a little sidewalk or stairs. Yeah. I have a lot at my house.
See,
be great.
I have a huge snowblower because I have a really big driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want big because I don't want to be out there shoveling it. But the problem is I can't get it through the gate so easy.
Yeah.
And then I saw that video. I'm like, I wonder if those are good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good.
Yeah. It works well. I wouldn't use it for a driveway, but
no. Yeah.
Sidewalks and smaller spaces.
How do you feel about quality, generally speaking, when it comes to tools and equipment like this that you buy? Because I was surprised to read. Actually, we had a person speaking to us about it, but then do a little bit of reading about it, that generally speaking, appliances are now sold and considered to be, they're going to last 5, 6, 7 years. Where, I mean, my grandfather's, cast iron one from years ago, though you can barely move it,
still works.
weighs 5,000 pounds, works. But you're like, and you've seen this more in tools?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad. Yeah, it is sad. I think it's kind of a two-folded problem. One, like obviously the convenience thing and trying to mass produce as much as possible and sell as much as possible is a big thing. And then, specifically in my generation and potentially younger, they don't have the knowledge to fix things. So even if there was a scenario where you could keep something running, it wouldn't be our first choice.
And you're used to disposables. You grew up with everything being disposable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big.
So it's a problem for older generations because they're frustrated by the obvious changes that they've experienced.
Yeah.
For people my age, not as big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't work on things anymore.
Right.
I mean, I think that's part of the problem too, is, I mean, like you guys, you have mechanics, you have people who specialize in this, but a lot of those, even if you could fix it, there's nobody out there to fix it.
Yeah, that's a big one. And then even with some of the older stuff, as they phase out parts, the parts, as there becomes less availability, the price increases significantly. So you may have something, a mower that you've had for 10, 15 years, and you're like, I want to keep this thing going. And you need a new carburetor for it. And it's, a third of the price of a new mower. You're just like,
right. That's it too, right?
When do you make the jump?
Yeah. Repair is like.
So do you guys work on anything, or do you work only on specific types of equipment?
We specialize in lawn equipment. And then even further, we specialize in the brands that we sell.
Okay.
So our shop takes in just the brands that we sell.
Okay. That's
what
all
are
you.
Those brands?
Toro, Exmark, Echo, and Steel.
Okay.
Those would be our 4 major brands. And then there are some engine manufacturers that we are a dealer for as well.
But you don't work on absolutely everything. It's just those specific types of brands.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
And that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Well, we sold so many of them. So now you're to a point where your shop is full. And if we sold you a mower, my thought from the customer perspective is, if we sold you a mower, and you bought your mower from us, and part of the reason why is because that we do service and you want us to take care of you, and that we can, and you bring your mower in the middle of April and you need it bad, but you're waiting behind a bunch of stuff, random brands from all over the place, then I don't think we took care of you as best as we could if we put you in the back of the line behind a bunch of stuff that is all these different brands. There's so many brands now.
That makes sense. And I love, like I said, I've bought so much equipment from you guys over the years that, a quality product is you can stand behind it, you can fix it, and you can keep it running for a long, long time.
Absolutely.
You'll have to ask either Dan or Steve about it. I bought a chainsaw like 15, 20 years ago, and it was manufactured. They didn't have the piston ring in it, and it ran for like a month or 2 months. I was using it.
Wow.
And brought it back in. They're like, there's no piston ring. I go, nah, that's not possible. That's what we thought too.
Right.
And yeah. That's how quality of a product it was.
That's crazy.
But very good.
Well, we want to thank Integrated Behavioral Health Services for sponsoring the show. They provide compassionate, professional behavioral health services, helping individuals and families navigate challenges and build healthier futures. Integrated Behavioral Health supports people with counseling and behavioral services that help improve focus, stability, and overall well-being. Online at ibhealthservices.com. Oh, wow. That's a big word, stability.
And it was a list of things that I need.
So many syllables.
I need counseling.
I need to go there right after the show. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. The two of us are talking with Brady Fink today of Small Engine Specialists. And stick with us through the break. We'll be right back.
402 Business Insider, sponsored by Wyuka Cemetery and James Arthur Vineyards. I went on their website, and they have so many cool things that are coming up for Valentine's Day.
Their events are fun.
They do such a cool job. And I was just kind of looking at that going, Valentine's Day's coming up. Do something special. Don't go to the gas station and get a bouquet and a box of candies. Lame, right? Do something cool. She's special. Tell her she's special by doing something special. Go online to jamesarthurvineyards.com. They're having they have a Valentine's Day buffet. They have a 5-course meal on Valentine's Day. Of course, the wine is good. The setting is good. Yeah. So you don't want to spend the night on the couch, right? Who wants to do that on Valentine's Day?
I mean, I don't know.
You come home. I'm telling you. Oh, I've done it plenty. You come home with that lame, bouquet of flowers that you got at the grocery store.
And never buy I don't really want anything.
Oh, no. Never. That's a trap.
It is.
That's a trap. Let's not exchange gifts this year. Nope. So go check them out. James Arthur Vineyards. I should probably, because I gave this ringing endorsement, I should probably go buy tickets and take Shannon up there.
Yeah,
because if I don't, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
Already happened, buddy.
Well, this needs an adjustment. This is sponsored by Ascend Chiropractic. So this is where we talk about something within the business, either while you've owned it or before you owned it, that just needed a change. Was there anything that you came up against that you go, this needs to be switched?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that we did in the last couple years, because it was a longer process, because that would be on the inventory side of things.
Okay.
So our business is very seasonal. It's very weather dependent. So the problem that you have is November through February, you might get a couple snows, which bring in some good revenue. You still have your service going and getting people's equipment ready, but your sales tank quite a bit in that time period. So what ends up happening is you make a bunch of money in the spring and summer, and then you just have this drop off, and then you still got to pay people. You still got your bills to pay. So it becomes a cash flow issue at that point. And so the first step would be, okay, how do we mitigate our risk and not have a ton of bills coming due in that fall and winter time?
Yeah.
We don't want a bunch of equipment that we have to pay for that we should have already had paid for when we had the money coming in. So that was a big change that we made is just, and maybe we didn't so much make that change as when I had taken over as operations, I just wasn't paying attention to that as much. And it kind of bit me in the butt later, because then we're like, we have to pay for all this equipment now that came due, and
it's not going to be sold till spring.
Yeah. Right. And so you have a really short, I guess a lot of money going out when you don't have a lot of money coming in. So it's okay. We need to think about this ahead of time, because you don't think about it till it happens.
Right.
And that was my experience. Is it kept happening in the fall time. Like, okay, gosh, I should have known this was going to happen, but you're so busy doing other things. So being really intentional with that was a huge adjustment that we made, to the point where, we got it to the point where, okay, we're not losing as much money in those months as we typically would have. And then now looking at this year where we won't lose any money.
Very nice. Because I look at your business and I think the ebbs and flows have to be tremendous.
Yeah.
Just because when are you thinking lawnmowers? You're thinking in the spring, right? But that you're buying lawnmowers prior to the spring.
Right.
And if you didn't have any snow, now you could be sitting on inventory with snow blowers and snow shovels and whatever it is. And now adjusting for that could be tough.
Yeah.
Or look for ways to augment your business. Like, could you repair, say, Christmas lights?
No, thank you.
Make a fortune.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So fortunately, our service department is busy all year round.
See, that's nice.
That's helpful. And then we do our best to try to let people know, like, when, they're buying something from us, here's some optimal times to get it in. Please don't wait till April, because there's a bunch of people that are going to, and it's going to make it take longer for you to get your machine back.
So you do a lot of yard service companies, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, they can kind of plan to have their stuff serviced and fixed in December and January. I think they'd be the ones you'd want to focus on that. But yeah, come April, I'm bringing my stuff in.
Yeah.
Right.
The common Joe who's mowing his lawn and the lawnmower goes
right.
on. I mean,
because they're not thinking about it either.
Right.
So it's like you get here and all of a sudden you got to mow and you haven't started your mower yet. And, but yeah, you're absolutely right. So those guys are are a little bit more prepped for that because their business relies on them having their equipment up and running before they need it. And some of them aren't the best still, but it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get a rush. And then obviously, with the commercial clientele, like their business relies on it. So you do your best you can to move them through, while also not letting, the homeowner stuff get way behind either.
Yeah.
So do you do any type of programs or schedules because I would imagine most of your business is going to be commercial side of it, right?
It's about 50-50.
Is it really?
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, I've got a snow blower and you never think to start the thing until there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Right. And then it won't start. Well, now's not the time to bring it in because you ain't going to get it until this snow's melted.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that becomes a problem. Usually that first forecast of snow will generate some buzz.
Mm-hmm.
But then if they're wrong, that really throws it off because then the next one, people, last time they said, those guys, they'll say it's going to be 6 inches and then you get a dusting. And so you need a good one right out of the gate. That way people are like, oh yeah, it can still snow.
Yeah.
Like when they forecast it, it's probably going to happen.
Sure.
But we haven't done a ton of that in the past, but we will be doing more targeted, I guess you could say marketing or things that align with our slower seasons to try to combat that seasonality.
Like in the wintertime, because it seems like it doesn't snow much anymore, right? And I think we must be going through some kind of a cycle because I was going through Facebook Marketplace. I saw a snowmobile and I thought, what the heck would I do with a snowmobile?
Right.
Like ride it twice a year. Do you see a lot of people who are just sitting on old equipment or, do those wintertime sales, are they what they once were? Like maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know that. I wouldn't know exactly 10 or 15 years ago. But my dad always tells me that we used to get a lot more snow than we do now.
Yeah.
So we carry a lot. We don't carry a ton of the bigger snow equipment. So our inventory is shifted a little bit to be more of like the single stage snow blowers that would do your average sidewalks and driveways, kind of your residential in town stuff. And we pretty much keep it to that.
Very good.
Well, the climate does change, right? I remember in '76, the Time cover thing of the year was the coming ice age.
Yeah, global cooling.
And then by the end of the '90s, we're all going to be living in fire and it's going to be 1,000 degrees, and then it'll be cyclical and come around. But
I remember reading about they were planning an expedition to the North Pole or to the Arctic to start spreading soot to try and help melt some of the polar ice caps because it was so thick.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
maybe they did, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
you're young enough. It'll probably come back. We'll have snow like crazy, and
Well, you've been listening to This Needs an Adjustment, which is sponsored by Ascend Chiropractic. When you need an adjustment in your business and in your body, do it before things get out of hand. Total Chiropractic for care for adults and pediatrics, rehabilitation, acupuncture, cupping, weight loss, the list goes on and on. To see their list of services or to schedule an appointment, go online to ascendchiropracticne.com. And we want to thank Complete Family Dermatology for sponsoring the show. They provide comprehensive dermatology care for the entire family, from routine skin checks to more advanced treatments. Not just here in Lincoln, but all over Nebraska. Beatrice, York, Blair, Crete, Fremont, Geneva, Hastings, Nebraska City. So online at Complete Family Dermatology.
I'm writing all those down.
.com. And you're listening to the 402 Insider. I'm Gary Tharnich with little smarty pants Travis Filing on the other side of me. And we're talking with Brady Fink of Small Engine Specialists. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Back for the last segment. This goes so fast.
Yeah, it flies.
We should talk to Amy and see if she'd give us a 5-hour slot. Because I feel like we need, I don't know if I could talk for 5 hours.
We need a longer recess.
Yes, we do. Nice break in between. That's a good idea.
I'm still in kindergarten.
Well, this segment is sponsored by Lincoln Coin and Bullion. I'm Travis Filing. It's Gary Tharnish. And we are talking to Brady Fink with Small Engine Specialists. Last segment, we just kind of toss you the keys. Just want to talk about Small Engine Specialists and what's going on that's new out there. So is there anything coming up, anything that's changing coming onto the business?
Not a ton of changes. We are kind of expanding marketing and hitting more of a growth stride after that year of stability, and cross our fingers the weather cooperates with those efforts. But yeah, we just want to try to get our name out there more. One of our competitions would be like the big box stores. A lot of them are carrying some major brands. And we feel it's our job, being the experts that we are, to help educate why a shop like we have is the place to go for lawn equipment.
So I see, like, it was one of the questions I had in my mind, and I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot about it. Box stores. Now, I was shopping for a TV. This was last year, and you find these box stores, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're cheaper, and then you start doing a little bit of research, and they're built cheaper.
Right.
Do you see a lot of that with the box stores where it's an inferior product?
Yeah. So with the way that it works with the stuff that we sell, like Toro, Exmark won't be in a box store. They're dealer only, and we're the only Exmark dealer in Lincoln. But Toro and Echo and Steel have all kind of dipped their toe in the box stores. I shouldn't say dip their toe; they're all in.
Right?
They love
they
them.
cannonballed in.
I think they make a lot of money on them.
Well, box store
sure.
won't let you dip your toes.
Yeah.
You're either all in or not. Yeah,
right.
Anyway,
Exactly. So, but a lot of those models are the same as what we have, and they're actually priced the exact same. So that pricing is set. Now, if they need to liquidate some inventory or something and whatever, they might do some sort of promo. But as far as that goes, they're going to be, what they want to have happen is you walk in there and you're looking at a bunch of mowers and you see a Toro, and then you see whatever MTD brand, Yard Machine, Yardman, or whatever, and they're hoping that just by brand recognition, you're going to grab that Toro when you're there. The trouble would be from the customer perspective is if you have any questions on that thing, you might be grabbing a guy to talk to you, but he might work in nuts and bolts or Christmas lights.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was probably assembled by some kid who, is in high school.
They don't assemble them typically.
Oh,
that's good.
So you get to do that yourself.
Right.
I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Well, people
myself.
like to do business with people they like.
Yep.
So make yourself likable. You're likable.
Thank you.
Then also let people just simply know where you are and what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I apologize. I did not know about your company till I'm doing my show, reading my show prep that he sent me yesterday. And I'm like, I know we're talking to a small engine specialist, but I don't know. So I'm glad to amend you. I always come to you just knowing, what, that you're a man of integrity. And I also like the idea of, if I'm going to buy something, I would promote buying it from you there, because you're going to be there when I need you. If there's a problem or something breaks down.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to go back to the big box store. Maybe somebody that, is helping the self-checkout people is going to be like,
yeah, they don't care if your mower works or not.
Right. Yeah. Or there's a loyalty of, we'll have it. It'll be 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You just don't know. I mean, I think that's a very smart thing.
Yeah. So our goal would be that from the moment that you walk in, whatever problem you're having as it relates to lawn and garden, we'd be able to either completely help you or get you 5 steps closer to where you need to be to get to that answer.
Yeah, you're a solution.
So when it comes to new equipment, we'll be able to answer your questions. We know everything about the products that we sell. When you buy something from us, it's assembled, number one. Number two, it goes back to our service department, and they do like a quote unquote service out on it. So they're going to add oil and run the machine and make sure that it's running properly. Right. Typically when you have issues with machines, you're going to have them right away. So just by doing that, we save you a trip back. So you get home and add gas and oil to it, and it's doing something funky.
Yeah.
You got to load it back up and bring it back in.
Yeah. Which sucks.
Which does suck.
Yeah. That's like half of it.
Right. And so hopefully we would have done the same thing that you did, and we would have heard that right away. And if it's something quick, we'll just fix it. Or, hey, let's grab another one and gas that one up.
So market that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, really.
Market those things right there, because it's the convenience, the service, the quality of repair. Love all of that.
And then you take it home and you have it for, given that you maintain it for hopefully a long time. But if you ever do need us, we're, a phone call away.
Can we find you online?
Yeah. So we actually had a new website built. It'd be www.ses.store. And it has all of our information on it, the products that we sell, what we actually have in our inventory. It syncs with our inventory system.
SES.store.
Yep.
That's Andy.
Small Engine Specialist.store. Great. And another acronym.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to ask Siri. I had to ask Siri 3 acronym definitions for the show today. It was a lot of work.
Yeah. So then, and then on there, we also have a contact form. So whether you need service or you're inquiring about new equipment, it'll send us an email, and then we usually then get on the phone with you. That way we can make sure everyone's on the same page. Yep.
And the showroom, it's north Highway 77.
Yep. So if you get on to 77, like you're going to Fresco, we're just on the east side.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, like maybe a quarter mile from Cornhusker.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got a big sign on there, and
easy.
if you drive past it, you'll see our name on the back of our building.
Sure.
So.
Sure. That sounds great. What are the brands again that you sell? There's 5.
Yeah. 4. So there's 4 major brands that we carry. Exmark would be our flagship premium brand, and then Toro, more on the residential side, and then Echo and Steel, which they make chainsaws and trimmers and
weed whips.
Yeah.
I will never use a chainsaw again. It's like me having a gun. No, I'm sorry. I accidentally sawed my leg off. That was me. Nobody else is involved. Yeah, my arm. I was trying to recover.
Well, very good. Well, this I want to thank Lincoln Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring the show. If you're not a member of the chamber, you need to be. If you're a business owner, they bring business together. They create connections. They help companies of all sizes grow and succeed in Lincoln. Running a business is hard enough. You need someone in your corner, not someone that pretends to be in your corner. Lincoln Chamber of Commerce advocates for local businesses, works on policy issues, helps make Lincoln a better place to do business. And there's only one true business organization, and it's the Lincoln Chamber. Join them, lcoc.com, or just call Becca. Do you work with Becca?
There you go. Yep.
Becca Fowler. She's awesome. Just call her. I probably shouldn't single out like one salesperson down there, but that's who I work with. So.
That's okay. We can invoice them.
I like Becca. She's a sweetheart. That's right. We'll charge them a little extra for this one. So anyway, go check them out. lcoc.com. That's the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. And you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. I've been talking with Brady Fink. I think we got about a minute left, right? So I jumped the gun a little bit, but next week, we are not on Saturday. We're actually on Sunday. So 2 hours on Sunday, 10 to noon.
And we're preempted whenever there's a Husker baseball game, basketball game, football, that type of thing. So if we're not on Saturday, we'll be there Sunday.
Right. So and I sent our schedule to the university so that they can start working around our show.
Yeah.
So they don't preempt us.
Yeah.
We need to preempt them.
Well, plus our show theme for the year is things that will never happen. So that's perfect. Right. That's a good start, Travis.
Yes,
I'll
take things that aren't going to happen for 200. So thanks for listening. We will catch you guys next Sunday at 10 o'clock. Brady, thanks for coming in and chatting with us.
Yeah, thanks, Brady.
I had fun.
Nice to get to know you. Yeah.
All right.